The deal with Iran has come as yet another reminder of China's great game in West Asia. It may be a relative newcomer to the region, but it has increasingly widened its footprint and in some aspects outflanked Western influence. Because the Chinese outreach has been arguably subtle and careful. For a change, Beijing is not trying to gain control through its army. It is creating a culture of economic interdependence. In 2008, West Asia received only 1% of the money that China invested globally. Today, Chinese money is flowing all over the region. From Saudi Arabia to Iran, from the UAE to Turkey, from Palestine to Israel, Chinese companies have increasingly filled the economic vacuum left by the West in recent years. They have invested in refineries, in ports, airports, hotels, offices, and business campuses. How could this change the geopolitical dynamics of West Asia and challenge Western influence in the region? Our next report explores.
In 2016, China published the Arab Policy Paper, its first political strategy document for West Asia. A blueprint to slowly unfurl its tentacles in the region. This paper helped sync Chinese interests with West Asia's development strategy. Beijing wanted oil, natural gas, and influence. Arab countries were looking to modernize and diversify their economies. The result was this. By 2017, China had become the largest investor in West Asia, outmaneuvering the United States, and the biggest importer of crude oil, with half of its oil coming through West Asia. In 2016, China's Sinopec and Saudi Arabia's Aramco agreed to jointly build a refinery worth $10 billion. And in Kuwait, Sinopec was involved in the construction of the largest refinery in West Asia. Several joint infrastructure projects were also launched under the Belt and Road Initiative, like the Khalifa port in the UAE, the Hunutlu thermal power plant in Turkey, the Jizan port in Saudi Arabia, the Atarat oil power plant in Jordan, Port Said in Egypt, and the Duqm port in Oman, along the strategic Strait of Hormuz. The pandemic further provided China a chance to strengthen its foothold in West Asia. Chinese vaccines have been flowing into Arab countries. In February, China promised to provide vaccine aid to Palestine. And on Sunday, China and the UAE agreed to expedite production of affordable Sinopharm vaccines. But Chinese interest is not just limited to the Arab world or Islamic countries. Today, Chinese money is increasingly visible even in Israel. In the tech sector, 463 deals worth $19.4 billion have been struck between Tel Aviv and Beijing, and 8 deals worth $5.9 billion in the infrastructure sector. Now, by inking a 25-year agreement with Iran, Beijing has made it amply clear that it is not trying to replicate the Western strategy in West Asia. Instead, it is putting forward a narrative of neutral engagement with all countries. It is trying to build a multipolar order based on economic partnerships. Not only could this shape West Asia's political dynamics based on how China envisions it, but it could significantly erode the influence of American and European powers. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.